Hello everyone, welcome to RavenzCraft Magic Channel. This is a special last episode in my Planetary Magic series, Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration. Now, in ancient times, the people looked to the skies looking for clues to their future and to aid in their survival in growing their crops and timing the right times to hunt and so on. And they started to notice that the lights and the stars, as we call them, would move and change every night, and they first called these the wandering stars. Now, unfortunately, the ancients didn't get a chance to see Pluto because it is the farthest planet from the Sun, and they did not have the technology back then as we do today. But Pluto takes 248 years to complete its orbit around the Sun. The search for Pluto started when scientists figured out there was some kind of gravitational force affecting Neptune and Uranus's orbit. On February 18, 1930, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto. Now, because of its distance from the Sun and its very long orbit, Pluto is a generational affecting planet. It's listed as a transpersonal planet. The planets outside of Saturn are listed as transpersonal planets because they affect people generationally every 20 to 30 years. Pluto spends about 20 years in each house on the zodiac wheel. So the effects of Pluto would change from generation to generation. The zodiac sign that Pluto rules is Scorpio. Scorpio is the keen investigator. They are resourceful, passionate, but can often be very assertive or jealous as well. Scorpios seek out the true experience and want to transform to create the real reality. Scorpio is about finding out new things and changing for the better. Now, people often say that Scorpios understand the rules of the universe. Scorpios are excellent leaders because they are very dedicated at what they do, and they hate dishonesty and can be very jealous or suspicious, so they need to learn how to adapt more easily to different human behaviors. Scorpios are brave and therefore have a lot of friends. Now, Pluto is mostly a solid ice frozen planet, and when it does get enough temperature to melt, it releases nitrogen, methane, and CO2. But the average temperature on Pluto is negative 382 degrees Fahrenheit. Pluto also has 5 moons. The names are Charon, the biggest, Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. Now, in the Hindu Vedic traditions, Pluto is represented as Lord Rudra or Lord Shiva, also a representation of the cycle of life, representing the darker, destructive side and also the regenerating growth side of life. The two extreme opposites that are necessary and must exist for everything to work correctly. Now, Pluto is about transformation and regeneration, much like Scorpio wanting to learn everything so they can transform what they know with their new knowledge. It involves forgetting or destroying of the old and transforming with the knowledge of the new. Now, the discovery of Pluto coincided with the era of discovery of the plutonium bomb. The plutonium bomb was created around the 1940s and kind of represented our new technology and our new knowledge of transformation into this new world which we live in today. Now, obviously, the plutonium bomb corresponds with destruction and chaos. But Pluto wasn't always just associated with death and destruction. There is another side to Pluto, the regeneration side of Pluto. After destruction or death, it makes way for new life or new growth. Like we've said before, all the planets have a god or a deity connected to them and their influences, and Pluto was often represented and connected to the god Pluto. Now, Pluto was a Roman god. Now, Pluto also represented wealth and richness. I take it as the richness of the dirt and the soil, which gives us the much needed minerals and nutrients of the earth. Now, the Greek aspect for Pluto is Hades. Hades is the brother of Zeus and Poseidon. It is said that Hades and Persephone both ruled the underworld in harmony together, and they also represented the fertility and the rebirth of the phase after death. So Hades was sort of a dark aspect, but he was a necessary dark aspect, creating balance between light and dark. Recently, back around 2006, there was a satellite sent out to explore Pluto with the ashes of the discoverer Clyde Tombaugh on them, which is a pretty neat fact. In Sanskrit, the name Kali perfectly describes Pluto. It basically means time, but time as in all stages of time, your birth, your life, and your death. So Pluto is not just death and violence, it is the whole cycle of the lifetime, the long generational influence. It represents the aspects of polarity. Without the dark, there is no light. Now, with all these videos and information about these planets, I hope you can go back and re-listen and reapply yourself and start to understand what these planets can do and what they are used for. They are the very things that created our existence. They have always been there, and they will probably be there much longer than we are. And what planetary magic is all about is learning to work with the planets and not against them. You learn the tides and the motions and the positive times to work with them. And you learn the negative times or the retrograde times if they have them, and not to fight against their forces and to work with their forces and to naturally manifest the things that you need in your life. See, the universe is there. You just have to tell it what you want and it will give it to you. You just have to put your influence and your intent out there, and you have to be aware to see it when you receive it. You have to be aware of the chances that you are given and take the opportunities that are presented. That is the whole thing. It awakens you. It brings up your awareness so that you can see that these possibilities are there and you can take advantage of them and achieve what you desire. And Pluto represents death, yes, but without your death you would not enjoy your life. Your life would be worth nothing if there wasn't an end. So Pluto teaches us to enjoy the importance of our life and our experiences, and to rethink them as hardships and maybe think of them as blessings, and do what we need to do to achieve the things we need to achieve. Be successful. Live your life. The ancients knew long ago that these planets and stars had powers, and they were obviously influenced and worshipped them. The things you can do with planetary magic are endless, but I just wanted to teach you the influences and the powers that you can work with. These are very great powers, and if you can learn to work with them, you can change and manifest your reality. Now, this is the end of the planetary series, but I plan on making a series on how to read the astrological zodiac chart. So now that you know the planetary influences and the powers, now you're going to learn how to read them and how they correspond with each other on the astrological chart. And in learning all of this, you essentially learn more about yourself. You learn what your abilities are and what you are good at, and you learn how to apply those in your life to achieve what you desire and to achieve success and happiness. The only way to achieve those things is finding out what you really want. You have to first figure out your goal, and then you go for it and you achieve it. And planetary magic and learning about your zodiac and your influences all help in learning thyself. And learning yourself is the key and the next step to enjoying a successful and happy life. It is the next step in this thing we call enlightenment and awareness. Are we just relearning what the ancients already knew? I mean, did they know and were they aware of Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto? I mean, there is a lot written in history and in art that shows they were aware of all the planets, but yet they had no technology to see it. It seems to me that planetary magic and the awareness of the powers of the stars and the planets were a thing that were highly involved in religion and worship in the history, and we should not forget about these things that are out there, and we should apply our new knowledge and new science with the old knowledge and the old texts, put them together and see if we can come up with a newer, clearer answer, because obviously the ancients were onto something, weren't they? Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this episode helped you learn a little bit more about Pluto and the powers and the influences, and I will be making a video shortly about the astrological chart and how you can read it and how you can apply it to your life. So I hope my planetary magic series kind of pointed out some of the stuff that you needed to know and to apply and to make it work within your life. If you haven't seen the other videos, I recommend you go back and watch them. I know they will probably increase in quality from the beginning to the end, but that's the good thing. Things are constantly getting better here, and I plan on creating educational and influential videos for you in the future. So, as I always say, stay on the positive path, and I will see you next time. Thanks.